Oh well.
We are live. I was just telling the guys, y'all, since we live, you know what I'm saying? It's Big Ten football hour, so I guess it's time where you don't watch Big Ten football, you watch something else. Fresh Prince is still on. I think I was just watching it, you know what I'm saying? What it cares about.
Right on cue.
I mean, the hatred you have for the Big Ten football is immense.
It's kind of scary.
What up, brothers?
It's actually not hatred. Actually, it's not hatred. I just want everybody to be aware. You know, when you want people to know things, you want people to be aware of what you're aware. You know, passing down information. I just want to make sure that the younger generation or the people that come behind us understand how bad this football is. But you know, the media hypes it up every week. I just want them to know.
Both seasons will be very, very fun. I told you I'll save all comments about Big Ten anything till bowl season because all we're doing is playing Big Ten teams. So I'll wait. Go ahead. Yeah, I know you're about to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? How y'all doing, first of all? Shout out to my brother.
Happy Saturday to you, sir.
Happy Saturday. But it's like most times when I'm the last person coming in, I'm always coming into Big Ten football talk. So can we retire that?
I agree.
We know how bad it is. We know
Second.
how bad it is.
You got to that scale.
Yeah.
And how bad it is. Okay, well, too, let me write you down on the list too.
I always say the same
What y'all
thing.
have to understand, I think I told Savage or Shark, one or two. That's my high that I get every week. You know, there's some when you need a good pick me up throughout the week. Trolls from the Big Ten pick me up every single week. This has been a very long week. You know what I'm saying? Things have happened. Happy belated Thanksgiving to y'all. But you know, this is my high.
Okay.
Well, are you high?
Well,
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Well,
we're not talking about Big Ten.
Skyler has some more shade. Skyler has some more shade to throw for your Ohio State guys.
Right. So I want us to pay attention to this trash that came across my timeline yesterday. This is absolute trash. So this is the last time we'll talk Big Ten anything. Please play this. What is this? It's supposed to be a swag surf.
No.
Oh.
This is supposed to be swag surfing, Savage.
Oh.
They had a headbang and a swag surfing.
Oh no.
I'm gonna tell you how trash it was. That's tissue paper that they're standing on.
And look how hot, like my man got the all whites on, like the all white socks, the all white shoes.
I'm gonna tell you how bad this swag surfing is. I think there's maybe one dark skinned guy in this entire video.
The all white.
There's a bunch of light skinned guys.
Number 32 looks like.
That's how y'all doing Big Ten, huh?
Explain, Sheedy.
I'm just going to write this down. Just write my notes.
Thank you, Sheedy. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm just documenting how we're talking about us.
I'm beyond Big Ten anything right now. I just want to enjoy Big Ten basketball. I have
so you want to enjoy first team to 45.
Big Ten basketball is good, man.
Big Ten basketball is good.
Last year had like 10 teams.
Yeah.
I guess.
Hey, man, it's like the Big East back in the day, man. Everybody good.
Are you done, Skyler?
Yes, I'm done.
So it's the day we retire bringing in Big Ten football in the pregame.
No.
I was
even I know that no.
I will not sit in the locker room of the Let's Be Real episodes talking about Big Ten football until the college football playoff where Ohio State has a chance to go to the national championship. Until then, no.
Yeah. And I want to see whatever Big Ten teams go up. I want to see what we do, and then I'll talk my trash from there. But until then, let's actually just go to school and
cool.
School's in session real quick for today. Today I have a gamut of topics that I want to address, and all from one thing, and it's stemming from this thing called depression. And so, like, sometimes Mr. Riley, Sheedy, whatever you want to call me, gets a little deeper. Excuse me. And I want to make sure I announce some things today. And so y'all know what I like to give y'all numbers. And so can y'all come off mute and say 3 million?
3 million.
3 million.
3 million.
Thank you. Now that's how much we should be paying Miles Leonard for Miami Heat. And now can y'all come off mute and say 3.8 million?
8 million.
3.8 million.
About
3.8 million. That might be how much the Lakers are still paying Luol Deng this upcoming season as well.
Money ding. Ka-ching, ding.
But those numbers though, 3 million, 3.8 million, 3 million cases of postpartum happen within the United States every single year. And it's something that we don't discuss enough. Now, 3 million is a lot, but you know, there's got to be a lot of births that happen. 3.8 million are how many childbirths there were last year in 2019. So if you do the numbers and crunch the numbers a little bit, that's about 79% of all women that had births last year at some point suffered from postpartum. And postpartum does go into depression as well. And so I want to also give you all some facts, because I know some of my brothers have had children, or, you know, down the line will be experiencing children as well. But like, we don't talk about it enough as African Americans in our community and what that does. For instance, for our African American women and our queens, they tend not to say anything about it because of how society predicts how they will be, right? That's the angry Black woman, or you got a new baby or stuff like that. And that's not always a thing, right? They're actually diagnosed with something, like I said, it's called postpartum. I want to also like equivalent this to something later on in life. You know, when you get older and, you know, your grandfather or your grandmother is just talking crazy, what do y'all say they are? What do you remember that term that people use? That they're what?
Senile,
right? Senile. You can't get a prescription for being senile. It's not a thing. You can get a prescription or get help with symptoms for Alzheimer's and things like that. So we need to make sure we're more educating ourselves on these things that are going on. They're not senile, so to speak, right? They're losing parts of their memory and their mind. They're deteriorating. That's really what's happening as you get older in life. But we don't say that. We just say, oh, they're senile, they'll be okay. They will be when they get some help. So let's go ahead and rewind back to postpartum. 3.8 million births with 3 million women that actually suffer through postpartum on a yearly basis. Of that, our Black queens are more at risk than anyone else. Twice as more likely to happen within the African American community due to many various reasons, right, that we have for ourselves, which really, really stinks for us. But I just want to make sure that we are aware and we don't stop talking about postpartum because it's something that I'm going to say, honestly, my wife suffers from. And to my Black men, you have to be there for your wife when this happens, right? But you also have to understand what's going on. And depression is really a big thing. It's not just with postpartum, it's just with our lives altogether. I want to thank Charlemagne as well, because Charlemagne to me has been a very big catalyst to let us know, hey, Black people, go get help, go to therapy, go talk to someone about what's going on, because it's not always, you know, as cut and dry as people may seem. Now, I do want to leave open the floor real quick if you guys have any questions about postpartum or do want to discuss postpartum in any capacity. I'll start first with Skylar and then go Savage and then Took and then Sharky and then Trevor.
No questions for me, but as a father now and a baby that's 3 months old, and just kind of seeing how firsthand what women go through before the baby gets there, when the baby arrives, and then after the baby is like finally here and taken care of, it's a lot. And so when you read about it and when you see what all they go through, you could see why the numbers are so high. So to your point, when you just said, it's just like Black men, be there for the mother of your child, whatever the relationship is, just be there for her, because it's a lot. And as much as I guess fathers want to complain, but again, when you see your woman, your wife go through it, like it's quite a lot. So like you said, Black women, mothers, just like if you need to talk to somebody, if you need to seek out a counselor or something like that, please do it, because I'm sure it's a lot. Could not imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as somebody who has a little one on the way in May, I've kind of learned about appreciate it. I've kind of learned about just the entire pregnancy and post-pregnancy process from my wife, even before she got pregnant, because she's a student of, life, and with her being a psychology major and now she's a counselor, that stuff is like, I understand it from like a surface level standpoint, and then when she talks to me, I understand it a little bit more deeply. And so I guess I'll be, experiencing that, later on into next year. But I think the most important thing that we can do as men is lead by example. And what I mean by that is just because we are, thanks, Bianca, just because, we are supposed to be, the strong person in the household does not mean that we, just don't go out and seek help. And so while your significant other is going through postpartum depression, and you can advocate counseling for her, or, getting her to talk to somebody she, trusts or confides to. We need counseling as well too, because we are not physically going through it in terms of like, the body and the mental aspect of postpartum. But as life partners to our significant other, we're supposed to be, living life with them and then sharing that burden that they have, on our shoulders as well too. So biggest thing that I can say to myself and to, anyone else as that's listening is to be there for your wife, be there for your girl. And then also make sure that you are okay too, because if you are not okay, she's not going to be okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, that's real, man. I really don't have anything to say. I definitely salute you guys for talking about your experiences as well, and you, Sheedy, bringing it up, something that definitely is going on in the Black community, especially with our Black queens. So we do have to do better for them, with them. But as far as like everybody's mental health is something serious. You know what I'm saying? Definitely salute to Charlamagne the God for bringing it up. But we all definitely should, talk to somebody, whether it's a friend or somebody you don't know. But as far as like our Black queen, salute to you, Sheedy, for bringing this up. Of course, I don't have an even girlfriend right now. So kids are the furthest thing, away from my mind right now. But salute to y'all and y'all experiences, and again, Sheedy, I'm pretty sure people are going to watch this and be like, I can do better for me, and my queen, for our baby and everything. So salute to you on that.
Thank you.
Man, salute to all y'all for setting the example. See two young Black fathers and another one is on the way. Like, that's rare, sadly. But we got a podcast. Four of us are married, and three got kids. So it's like, I just want to salute y'all for just, setting an example for Black men, for them not only to see us talk about sports and start podcasts, but to see us talk about life and actually, doing the things that you're supposed to do and doing it right. And also just salute to you, Sheedy, for our last NBA draft live episode. You didn't come home because of your wife, because of what discussion yesterday. So I'd like to really commend you for setting that example for any of us. When at that time happened, it's like we need to make sure we put that over anything else. Then pick back off Savage point about counseling. If you can, counsel together with your wife, for us to learn what's going on. Because like you said, we're not experiencing what they're experiencing. And sometimes counseling together could help bring it, because you're there with her, and the counselor could let you know right there on the spot, and get her to talk more as well. So let's say salute to y'all. I don't really have no questions, but just strive to be like y'all when I grow up.
Aren't we all?
Well, to bring this thing home, as the last married person who's potentially looking to have children soon, I do commend the three of you guys for, as Sharky said, setting the example. And to Sharky's point, not to harbor on that, but not just marriage counseling, but if you definitely needed, seek therapy for yourself, man. Like, understand the concept and understand the concept of self-care, basically. Take some time if you need to, just to unwind, just get away from the world for however long you need to, whether it's 30 minutes, an hour, maybe the full day, just whatever. Just if you can, make some time to yourself. I'm speaking from testimony because I'm still, of course, I'm going through therapy myself. Just trying to just cope with everything and making sure, because one of my main issues is I just want to make sure I have everything to make sure my wife and I are secure. While she's happy, I always feel that there's something else that can be done. So just working on that, on not trying to be a perfectionist so much. So it's something that me and my wife are both going through together. So just remember, if you definitely need the help, definitely seek therapy if you can. Talk it through with your significant other. And as you said, continue to protect our Black queens, man. So.
Yeah. Thank all y'all for that. This podcast is more than just sports, as our captain alluded to, man. And I appreciate us having this time and this platform to discuss things that are not just sports related, because we have lives in front of sports, right? But to everyone's point here, get help. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And I don't even want you to pour from a halfway empty cup, right? Don't pour until you feel like you can pour, right? Don't feel like if you got a quarter tank left, don't use that quarter tank for someone else. Maybe use that quarter tank to get yourself together, then help others, right? Just think of the old adage when you're on the airplane, right? They always tell you to secure your mask first before you secure somebody else's. And with that, class is dismissed.
Great talk. Great talk. Great time.
Great job.
Y'all look like y'all know what y'all talking about up there.
You start shooting with us in the gym, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. Let's get ready. Let's be real about pain. Bringing the names back.
Hey, man.
Oh, boy.
Let's be real. Let's go.
Hey.
All right. Pain.
The Giants fan.
Sound like somebody team that's 3-7.
3-8.
3-8. Excuse.
Ooh, jeez.
Oh my, 1-2 punch already.
But he's about to fire on you, Skyler. About to talk about now. Title of this episode. Pain. Boogie Ellis tweeted this tweet after he wasn't starting. Pain. Came out and dropped 24 points in the first game. Pain.
6-3.
Yep. Next two games though, I think that's what we talked about too.
All right, man. So I guess to carry on this Memphis Tigers, I want to actually start from other people because y'all gonna say what I want to say, but better. But I want to end it off by calling out a particular player. So, of course, if you're not sure what we're talking about, U of M, we went 1-2 in the tournament that honestly we should have won. But first game, like you said, Boogie Lou Williams. 24 points, came off the bench and did his thing. That's his new nickname until further notice. I still give him the nickname, Boogie Lou Williams. Then the second game against Western Kentucky, we got bullied by Dwight Howard Jr. I'm going to let y'all talk about that. And last night, 3 games back-to-back, VCU lost, came and embarrassed us, straight up. So we can start from my directions, like right to Sharky, then go down to Lito and fourth, and then come back to me.
Okay. I think like we have the same problems we had the last 2 years. We have on offense. I don't know what Penny's teaching on offense. I just don't know. I know what he's teaching. He's an NBA guy. They're playing the NBA style of offense in the college game. You got to run plays.
Yep.
They're not running plays. We did allude to the problem in the first game. Although we won and won in convincing fashion, most of us said we didn't have a lot of assists on what we did. And we did. We was foreshadowing a problem that we could see later. We didn't think it was going to happen the very next day, but that's where we at now at 1-2. And really, I think it's the players. We got ISO players, and we don't know if we just have shooters. I guess Lester Keone is supposed to be the shooter. I haven't seen it yet throughout his whole freshman year in these first 3 games. But even then, it's just one legit, just like shooter. Like Bookie can shoot. There's other people that can shoot, but they're not shooters. Like, and point guard play. Alo has played well the first 3 games. I don't know. It's just a lot. I'm not totally down like some people would be. I'm always, as y'all listen to my Titans podcast, I'm trying to be more upbeat about my things because Titans fans on game day, first quarter, second quarter, we going off. We're going 9-7 again. Come back and beat the Ravens and we all celebrate. The same thing with Tigers. Like, it could be just, and I told my guy, T-Time on the Titans podcast, like, we're not, our fan bases are like it. Like, when it's up, we high, we down, we down. In the middle of a game, not just like different games. In the same game, it could be the same way. So it's still beginning of the season. They didn't have exhibition games.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the team didn't play, they have those either. But I mean, it's beginning of the season. I mean, let's give it some time. I understand COVID games might get canceled and stuff like that. We don't know what's gonna happen with that, but let's give it some time. Let's not panic until February.
Definitely want to echo what Sharky said towards the end. I mean, what I want us to do, and I think one thing that I'm thankful for this podcast for is we're patient enough to kind of see how the rest of this plays out. So it's only 3 games into the season. Like Sharky said, there were no warm-up games. There were no preseason games. There were no exhibition games. So there hasn't been quite enough time for this team to kind of gel with each other. I mean, there are new players that have been added on the team, new players that actually are getting big-time minutes. So we haven't had enough time for them to gel with each other. But when you read the same book so many times, at some point you're like, okay, this is enough, right? So where my frustration with this team is, it's the lack of, like Mark Giannotto said, the lack of a dynamic point guard. I think one thing Savage has said all the time is college basketball, if you don't have a great guard or if you don't have a great guard combo, you just ain't winning in college basketball. I mean, just think about the most recent teams that have won a national championship. They've been really good at the guard position. And so, in my opinion, that point guard position, which goes to Alex Lomax, you got to tell me because he is starting. You have to think about, like, I think that's part of the issue. I think another big part of the issue is the fact that we aren't scoring good. We aren't getting easy baskets. The isolation is fine because I think a lot of times that's what today's game is. It's a lot of transition. It's heavy pick and roll. But I think what separates your Coach K, your Tom Izzo's, and whatever coaches you want to name is their ability to get their good or great players easy baskets. And when you aren't getting easy baskets, those isolation jump shots, those jump shots where you got a hand in your face, like we saw a couple of those from BCU, they just aren't going to fall. So where Penny Hardaway and his staff have to come up with is they have to come up with a way to get easy baskets. That's an issue for me, and fast break points. I think first half yesterday, I think we only had like 6 to their like 13. And then I'm not even sure how many they got in the second half. But turnovers were an issue. VCU also had 18 turnovers as well too. So there's an opportunity to get fast break points, but we aren't, in my opinion, getting those. That's the issue.
I don't know who was next, so I guess I'll just pick it up.
It's you, Sheedy.
Okay, cool. All right. So to me, what I'm trying to think of what has not been told already, but to me it's big man play. As a coach of coaching big men, I watched them get bullied. I'm not seeing the aggressiveness of a 5-star or a 4-star athlete in Moose yet. But again, like Tyler just said, that's been 3 games of what we've been able to see. This is basketball, so I would at least like to see at least 10 games, I would say, and let me see further from there. We talked about the turnovers a lot last year, and hate to see them again now happening. And that goes to not coaching, but player development with the guards. But I'm gonna go back to the big men. They got embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed. And I mean, at each level, they had that white boy giving buckets as well in the paint. And I mean, fearlessly. And so now you're thinking about on defense, if you get past the trap, because that's Penny's best move, coaching wise on defense. If you get past his trap, you can eat anywhere else on the court. You just got to get past the trap. And so unless Penny's going to play 40 minutes of trap basketball, now I mean like, playing Gucci Man and all that, but like literally trapping full court. This team will be in trouble defensively because they don't have anything really set as a zone per se that Penny always goes to. They play a lot of man after that zone. I mean, after that trap, when really you could go to a zone if you could, but that's one of my bigger issues that I have coaching and the player development with guards and you're going to do something with the bigs. I don't know who we got coaching the bigs. I'll take a check if you need to and get some work down there because I need to see some better development from them almost immediately. And I'm not talking about Moose because it's his first year playing college level. But to the other guys that are sophomores, you can't get bullied like that. I don't care about game one. You cannot get bullied like that in the paint. And that was realistically to me at least 2 of the 3 games that they did that. Besides that, the guard play, again, not there yet. We're getting the scoring from the forwards and off the bench. But again, I don't see it in the paint like I would like to right now as a fan and a component of the big man.
I could go all day and get into in-depth analysis of the past 3 games, but I'm going to just focus in on 2 points. So one, as you guys had already mentioned, the offense is just terrible. There's a lot of isolation. Strike said it's like NBA basketball. NBA ball would be fine if we had like a Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson on the team. Then we can run those isolation, kick out to a shooter. That'd be great. But we don't have that. We have a bunch of players. And this is, I guess, getting to my first point. We have a bunch of players that say, okay, Boogie had his game. It's my turn to get my points now. Because at one game you had Boogie, who had his points. Another game you got Nolly, who had his points. Then you got DJ jacking up shots. You got 3 players. That's the pecking order right now from what I see. Is you got Boogie, you got Nolly, Boogie, and then DJ. Now last year, DJ was accustomed to being the guy before he got hurt. So he thinking like, man, I'm finna get my points, But now Nolly is here, and Nolly from that first game looks first and second game, I forget when he went off on, but look really, really good. You know what I'm saying? And when you got that hierarchy of players, you don't leave room for anybody else. So somebody mentioned Lester. Lester had one game when he was like 2 for 8 or something like that on shooting. This is supposed to be your shooter. Lester is not a shooter. This is breaking news, y'all. Lester is not a shooter. He's somebody that can shoot. That's what it is. Memphis has no shooters at all. I'm looking at their roster right now, and I got love for my white people. We got 1 white person on the team. and what I'm getting at with that is we need specialists on this team around that can 1, play defense, and 2, be able to shoot. And usually when you create a Memphis AAU team as somebody who played in the AAU circuit, there's always that all black team that get like 2 white guys that start that can just shoot lights out. That's just how it is here in Memphis. And Penny should know that. So Penny needs to, and this is getting to my second point, Penny needs to adjust his recruitment. He is doing it to a certain extent these days. But in order to compete on a college level, especially with 3-point line being shorter than the NBA line, you can find somebody that can stand in the court and shoot threes. Like you can find somebody that can shoot a jump shot. You need to go out to Carterville, go out to St. George's, go out to Briarcrest, find you somebody that can sit in that corner and shoot threes and play defense. I'm sure they'd be happy to do that. But yeah, I'm definitely not giving up on Penny. Like I said on Twitter, on talent alone, this team will make tournament. Let's be real. Like they're gonna make tournament on talent alone. But the question that I would have is how long would they stay in the tournament? Because if you play a team like VCU been well coached for like 20 years. Even with Shaka Smart and whoever came out of Shaka Smart, they are a well coached team. Penny and Tigers will struggle against any and all well coached teams. They can be from an HBCU conference, they can be from a blue blood conference. They are going to struggle until they figure out who is the guy on the team and who are we going to work our offense through. He don't have shooters, so that's just going to be something he's going to have to deal with. But they're going to have to do, as Skylar said, get those easy buckets in the fast break. They play good defense, so get the easy buckets in fast break and work on shooting. But I don't know if you can, at this point, teach shooting to the Memphis Tigers. So.
All right. Well, before I start, I just want to shout out Sheedy for kind of semi-referencing Nolan Richardson's 40 minutes of hell offense at the University of Arkansas, which is something that Memphis may need to potentially implement going forward. Watching those last two games, you heard Dan Dakich and the other guy on ESPN constantly refer to Memphis needing an offensive identity as to as much of what Savage has already said. Like, what are you going to do on offense in a half court set? Like, are you going to play through the inside through moose? Are you going to try to get your scores going? And if you're going to try to get your scores going, you have to find a way to create mismatches or find a way to get them easy baskets so that way they can get themselves going. And executing and scoring in the half court makes your defense that much stronger because we all know that Memphis can defend. So the other teams usually will be in trouble going against a set Memphis defense. But Memphis is going one-on-one, turning the ball over, giving up fast break points. Of course, they're going to be easy to score on, especially in the open floor. But for Memphis, it's like if you're not creating turnovers and you're not in the open floor in transition, we're pretty much not scoring.
Bingo.
So I actually have to disagree with Savage. Yeah, we have the talent, but I just don't think that this is an NCAA tournament team. I would love to be wrong, but I just don't see it right now at this point. Like at some point in time, you're gonna have to establish an offensive identity on what you're gonna do. And I actually tweeted this after the Western Kentucky game. And Savage said it. I said, Memphis will continue to lose a game to a team that's more disciplined and much better and well coached, pretty much. So going forward, like Benny and the staff need to establish, like, what am I going to do in a half court set? Like, as Landers is a bucket. Let's be real. Landers can get a bucket, but if we can find more opportunities to get him easier buckets, that'll actually get him going. If Lester is going to be our quote-unquote shooter, then we need to find a way to get him some open shots. It's just that simple. Boogie had the game that he had, but that was an anomaly. I can barely say the word. But going forward, it's a lot of adjustments need to be made on offense, and if nothing changes, then I just can't see them making the tournament. And watching the game, because I barely watched the game against VCU. It was one play in the first half where Alo was on the right wing dribbling. I don't think no one else touched the ball. And he basically went 1-on-4 and ended up clanking a mid-range shot from the elbow because the shot clock was running down. So moving forward, Memphis, you got to establish some kind of identity on offense in conjunction to what everyone else has already said.
One thing I will add really quick is they will hopefully get DeAndre Williams, who can shot pretty well at his previous school. So maybe that will help, but it remains to be seen right now. So
he needs to change his form for me. His form's a little too slow. But outside of that, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So he have internet problem.
Okay. While we wait on Tigger, if we have a little time, I think I totally agree with Trevor. I think, in my opinion, I believe Lester can be a shooter. I believe Boogie can be a shooter. He's more of sort of a scorer than a shooter. But my thing is, like, Lester isn't getting open shots. Landers isn't getting open shots. Like, and when I say easy basket, it doesn't have to be like a layup at the rim. It doesn't have to be necessarily be a floater. But how many wide open shots did we see Lester take? How many wide open shots did we see anybody from the team make? And so that's my challenge to Penny, which I think again also falls on the lack of a point guard and Alo not necessarily. Alo needs to do one or two things. Either he needs to be really good at just attacking the basket and making that effort to at least put the defense on the heels to say, okay, I'm actually actually shoot this shot, or I'm kicking it out. But in my opinion, they're not guarding Alo because he ain't trying to do either one of them. He's just out there. And so I think an adjustment he needs to make, and then I'm gonna toss it to you, is Damian needs to take his spot.
I like that. Absolutely.
I like that.
I would definitely start Damian Ball at this point.
Yep.
That's definitely a good point. But before we get to the start Damian Bob point, Scotty, you hit it right on the head as far as Alo goes. That's the player that I really want to talk to right now. So I really hope he gets a chance to listen to this because it's coming from a good place. Y'all know the love that I have for Alo. East High alum, like, come on, man. So what I want to see from him is him being in Penny's system for 11 years. Because you don't see that kind of chemistry that you're supposed to see when you've been playing for somebody for 11 years. There's so much talent on this University of Memphis team that, like you said, Savage, we're going to make the tournament for sure based off of talent alone. And I believe that even with our isolation ball playing right now, I think we can, we're going to still be good defensively. So that's not the issue. But the issue is offense. Y'all hit the hammer right on the head. I don't need to say go any further. But as far as Alex Lomax goes, he needs to carry that dog in him, not on just on defense, but he needs to let that passion be shown throughout the whole team. He needs to be in those people's faces that take bad shots. He needs to be in those people's faces that's not making the extra pass because we can get there. My challenge for Alex Lomax is to make top 10. We give the top 10 around so much because that's what we believe. Alex Lomax can be top 10 in assists by the end of the year. That's my challenge to him. Right now, through those 3 games, he averaged 3 assists per game. With this much talent on the University of Memphis team, we need that initiator. We before the podcast, I was talking to my mom and we talked about the little general. Same thing happened with him. People who have to learn to respect the little general based off the way he played. That's what Penny needs. This is no pun intended, but this is Penny's little general right here. He needs to do more than average 3 assists a game. But at the end of the day, Penny has to make those plays for him for design. There were pick and rolls for, of course, the person at the ball, but what about the off-screen picks? You know what I'm saying? I don't see none of that, but just people standing in the court is stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Waiting to get the ball. There has to be some movement going, and Penny has to get that better. Cisse is going to get a lot better, but as far as what I'm seeing offensively, we need him to be Mount Mutombo, and what I'm seeing is Serge Ibaka. And what I mean by that is Serge Ibaka would block a shot for sure, but his inside defense is non-existent. I debate that with anybody, but it's like going back to Alo, man, we need you to be a leader. We need you to take over this team. We need your passion for the coach that you've been playing for 11 years to be shown in this Memphis Tigers offense because you are starting for a reason, whether people like it or not. Y'all know how I feel about Alo.
Yeah. That's true. And also, real quick, I don't know what Penn doing with Musa, but he got to play more than 18 minutes, dog. Like, we got what we doing? Like,
because he's getting exposed on defense. I think that's why he's getting.
That's true, but I mean, it's college now. It's like you got you are my 5-star athlete. I don't come on, we got to roll out and play, man. Like I didn't.
He ain't getting bored. I think that's the other thing.
That's true, but I want to at least see some film. He got to get film. Like let's continue to get some more film on him because 18 minutes out of 40 when other players playing 30. Like I need. Come on, man. I know. I think game 1 he was tired, but nah, man, get your ass up there.
I just gotta say it's conditioning. Yeah, I think it also goes with conditioning. In high school, you were the man in high school, right? You didn't have to feel like you had to dominate like you have to now. So I think one push there, Savage, is really conditioning. And I don't know how you condition better in COVID. I mean, what else is he doing? He should be buying stuff anyway, getting those runs in. But who am I? Who am I?
Easy plug. But I think at the end of the day, we do have to take it a little bit too, not say easy because like this many, third year, whatever, but this was like their first time playing against competition. Like there was no exhibition game. There wasn't an opportunity for them to beat up on Christian Brothers to get those, mental battles ready. Like we went straight into war. And I think it was good for the team because now we got film of how we can, better defend another bully that Cisse might have to guard, you know what I'm saying? Or us getting better, easy positions because like we're playing great defense. We are. Like I know y'all saying as far as we break the trap and everything, like that's true. But if you some of the defensive plays that I saw was like they know who to guard, they know which person to go to. You know what I'm saying? They
play
really
real
good.
defense. They play
really good defense.
They guard when they're scoring. When they're not scoring, they're not guarding well.
Yeah, and that has to do with momentum.
Yes, somebody said something about body language yesterday when it was like at the end of the game, you can look at the body. Yeah, at that point, you definitely could see it. Like, all right, we lost.
Yeah, but I think like I said, we'll get better. We'll start going against better teams. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying. And yeah, that's
hopefully.
Y'all got to think about the Tigers. Like I said, it's real early, but
It's just
it'll be
early,
better.
but they got to
It,
get over.
it's 3 games in, so we'll see.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see 10 games.
Yeah. Well, see, hopefully we can see 10 games.
Yeah, and that's what we're going.
And that's going to that. Come on, now. That's what I was signing, bro. You know I'm the king of this. But no, man. To go in with that, man. Hopefully we can see 10 games. Y'all know COVID is running rapid. We had a bunch of teams that are, waiting to play. We talk about Sheedy's Ohio State. I think it was a prime opportunity for us to see them in the same tournament together. Whether or not we would have played, who knows? But they did. They were one of the teams that said we're going to wait. We can attest to Tennessee. It's a bunch of other teams that decided not to play. So we'll start from Trevor Savage and go around. But how do y'all see the season playing out? You know what I'm saying? And will we get an NCAA champion this year?
I honestly can't see it. I think as time gets along and we get deeper and deeper into quote unquote flu season, there's definitely going to be more cases of COVID-19, which is going to lead to a lot of more schools shutting down for X amount of time, however long it's going to be. We saw what happened with Tennessee, with them just pulling out of I think it's the Coaches versus Cancer Classic, to which West Virginia took their spot. I honestly just can't see it because if this was like the TBT where it's like a handful of teams basically going to one centralized location like a bubble with the NBA and everything, then there is a possibility. But you're looking at 300 plus schools all on their respective campuses looking to have a basketball season. And of course, with travel and everything, of course, that plays a part. And then even if there was a tournament, if it was to have it at one central location, still have 64, 68 teams in one location, which could even increase the chances of COVID spreading even further and even worse. So I would hope that we get a full season, but I just can't see it right
now. Y'all really convinced me after the NFL has done their good job of, continuing the season to say that there will be, some kind of college basketball season adjusted to some degree, whether that's like condensing the NCAA tournament, however they're going to do it. They're going to make it happen. They lost money, a lot of money last year. And the NCAA, they need their money, and they're going to find a way to get their money this year, especially now that we've been in COVID for the past, 9-10 months. But yeah, we'll have a tournament. We'll have a season. It'll just be different. I'll say that.
Is it on me?
Yeah,
Sheedy.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes, I believe there will be a champion at the end of the day. I think because NCAA lost so much money this past March that they'll come up with some way to make sure that even if it means just pausing the season now, which is what I think they should have done, which was pushing the season back a month, maybe even 2 months, just to kind of let these COVID cases, because we all knew that the cases were going to run up. So I feel like they could have just pushed back for them. But I feel like every sport, in my opinion, since March that has at least started, they've all finished. So at some point, they'll finish this. There's going to be a champion at the end of the season. I just feel like they should just kind of push the entire season back.
Sheedy.
Cool. Yeah, I'll jump in. Sorry. You talk about whether this will find a winner for the season. I really hope so. I think the biggest thing, and I'm not sure if this was discussed already, about colleges and universities is like campuses are really open. Anyone can really come on a campus and, have COVID, touch someone, and then it's kind of spreading. I'm not sure how every campus individually is handling that. And I think that's also another issue to discuss. And so as much as I would love to see a finish to the season, I also think there's about to be this second wave of cases. You're seeing that on all levels too. It's not just on college level. So like Ohio State, right? Also on a professional level too, with a lot of cases as well. And so I'm prayerful that we can have one. But the question is going to be how do we have it? Right. And that should have already been in discussion because we all knew once March hit how much we all need all these sports in season right now. And to Savage's point, the loss of money, NCAA can't lose any more money right They've already lost a ton of money with college football. And so they're going to do whatever they can to save college basketball. But again, you have to also talk about every individual campus. What are we doing on those campuses to make sure that the spread does not continue to occur? You don't just have random people walking in on campus and stuff like that.
Yeah. I do believe after the cancellation and stuff this past year, there's absolutely no way they would not have a champion. I don't know how. Maybe teams only play 10 games or whatever happens, but because they already got the plan in place for a bubble for the tournament. They just got to find a way to get there now. But I can shout out to Trevor. He made a great point on his argument saying flu season. I mean, you can have flu season and COVID cases are spiking up. So in that case, and go back to what she was saying, we don't know how each college campus is handling it. But based on we know it's about money. When it boils down to it, they already canceled the tournament. There's no way they're finna go and do this again. Especially in just seeing how college football. I mean, you see how many cancellations going on. I mean, they're finishing. NFL, you see how they is doing whatever they're doing with the scheduling. They're going to find a way to finish. It makes me think about the NBA, and they're not going to be in the bubble this time, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But I'm pretty sure they're going to find a way to finish. So I believe the same way happened this year with college basketball.
Two.
My bad. I was talking with my mic on. With my mic off. But yeah, man. Definitely our sentiments. I hope everything goes well. I definitely would love to see a March Madness. Maybe it goes to May Madness, but we'll see, hopefully. Because y'all know the NCAA. Y'all got us once. Fool me once. Shame on you, but fool me twice. I'm not going to lose money twice a year. We know how to not cool it all about your role. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely that. Savage, I know that you got another award that we're talking about or we need to discuss.
Yeah. So speaking of continue on with COVID, because COVID has ruled off 2020. Florida State is, coached by our former coach at Memphis, Mike Norvell. They had scheduled a game against Clemson. However, there was a case of COVID that occurred, and Mike Norvell ultimately pulled out of that game. And y'all boy Dabo Swinney was not too kind with his words about Florida State and Mike Norvell. Quote, "This game was not canceled because of COVID. COVID was just an excuse," shots fired, to cancel the game. Mike Norvell, he coached in the 901 for a little bit. So he got a little bit of Memphis in him. So he clapped back and said, "Football coaches are not doctors. Some of us might think we are, but there's a reason why medical advisors make decisions based on the information that is provided. It is unfortunate that the opportunity has been delayed, but there's a reason people making those decisions have that responsibility." So long story short, Mike Norvell, he looked as if he was protecting his players, given the nature of COVID. Dabo Swinney seems to be like somebody that's from the South that wants to play football. COVID be down, but just want to get you guys' thoughts about about what was said. Go ahead, Sharky. Go ahead.
Man, I've never liked that. I haven't liked Dabo Swinney for a while, man. And this just show you the ignorance on his part on all of this. For one, it was their player who tested positive for COVID. He flew us a backup lineman. He flew on the team plane to Florida State for the game and tested positive on the morning of the game. So Florida State decided to cancel because your player tested positive. He was already having symptoms, although he hadn't tested positive yet. Y'all still put him on a plane and flew him down there. And now you want to talk all this talk. Nah, bro. Man, ignorant, man. I never liked him. It just shows right there, like everything about him. The whole, cause I didn't like him going back to his comments about Colin Kaepernick a couple years ago, but it just shows. He just keeps showing me who he really is. That's all it is.
Yeah, he got a couple of national championships under his belt. He just started talking reckless. I see. To say that that Florida State canceled the game because they were scared. Come on now, or as an excuse. Come on now. I mean, didn't they cancel the game because Trevor Lawrence had COVID, or it was just him that sat out? I think it was just him that sat out.
He just sat out.
Yeah.
But I was just appreciative of the clapback that Mike Norvell had. I love it. It was very Memphian of him to do so. And Dabo Swinney, you should watch what you say, sir.
Yeah. I talked about this before, and this is about COVID. Kids, students are the guinea pigs of COVID, whether that is college or younger. And so not taking this serious, you already had your Heisman hopeful go down with COVID. Like, just be serious with the situation that is at hand. To the point he's acting like one of those good old boys that doesn't care. As long as we got the quote unquote majority of ourselves, we can play football. And man, what I will not do is go to one student's funeral because of COVID-19. I won't. And if you don't have that type of mindset about it, then you don't need to actually be coaching, because you really need to be more of a father type of role than just be trying to get some guys into the league. And so the ways are just going to get worse. But I'm behind former coach Norvell with what he said and how he responded diplomatically, in my opinion, to the foolishness of Dabo swing.
Y'all funny, man. I mean, y'all hit everything on the head. I really ain't got too much to say. Like, at this point, he don't care about COVID. Nobody cares about COVID. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not the cases keep coming back up, it is between them. So Dabo is looking like an idiot 2020, like I've been saying since 2020 started. It's showing everybody's true colors. And I'm pretty sure we already knew what kind of man Dabo Swinney was, but he just proving it for us. So, you know, it's on him. I hope Sunshine go ahead and get on out of there, but it is what it is.
I can't even think of who's more ignorant, Dabo Swinney or Mike Leach. But to the point, like, do folks remember? I know it was like early on in the season, like Mike Norvell actually was diagnosed with COVID earlier in this season. So for him to actually look out for his players from experience, because he has been diagnosed with COVID-19 and had to go through it, shows that he's putting his best interests at heart with his players. And I'm shout out to him for showing his little 9-on-1 that he had in him from his time here. But I don't have much to say, man. Dabo is just being Dabo at this point, just being ignorant. So there you go.
All right, we kick to the next second now.
All right. So we are officially 2 weeks away from the start of the 2020-2021 NBA season. With the first few preseason games will start on the 11th. But of course, we are well into the NBA offseason with free agency and things of that nature. So I've sent you guys to order, and I'll just have one of you guys just give the team. If it's the same team, that's fine. But and I will include the draft. So free agency and the draft included. Who do you guys feel has had the best offseason thus far?
It's gonna hurt for me to say this, but I got two of them because I know one of y'all gonna say the Lakers, blah blah blah. So I give two. One of them is, of course, the Suns. You know, with them adding Chris Paul, I think that's a really really good move. And you know what I'm saying? You do add on Jay Crowder, who's that energy guy to play along with, you know, Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, who missed 25 games last season. That's what a lot of people don't realize. And, you know what I'm saying? They went undefeated in a bubble, and that's going to help. And, you know, that draft pick was Jalen Smith. I feel like he went overpicked, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. He's a great energy guy that can play center in case, you know, they want to put Crowder at the 4 or whatever. So that's a good pickup. The second team, honestly, I say would be the Warriors. And I'm going to say why. Because Clay went out, and you have a good young core that you can start building up. And what I mean by that, y'all know how I feel about James Wiseman. Kelly Oubre is, I won't even say Kevin Durant, but he can be Kevin Durant-ish, you know what I'm saying? The way he slashes the bucket and the way he can, you know, I ain't going to say shoot, but he can get a good shot. You know, Kelly Oubre, he's a baller. He's somebody with potential. He's somebody with potential, y'all. Y'all laughing, but if you watch the Warriors play, he's somebody that can really go in like Kevin Durant. Shoot wise, nah, but he's somebody that can ball. Watch. Well, I'm telling y'all, watch. But what I also want to say is, if y'all don't believe in that, well, this is good, because now the Warriors can also possibly get 2 top 10 picks next season if all doesn't plan out as well. So I think with what we got, we get to see exactly what Kelly Oubre is going to be. Hey, man, y'all sleeping on Kelly, man. Y'all sleeping on him. Y'all sleeping
I
on
ain't
him.
sleeping on him. He's good, but you giving them KD vibes.
I said
Kind of
junior.
a
I
stretch.
did say the junior. I did say junior. So that's essentially like a poor man's, KD. So I mean, he'll be given that role. He'll be given that role. He'll be given that
So
role.
you would say that Kelly Oubre is a dark horse.
He's a dark horse.
There
He's a
you
dark horse.
go.
There we go.
Look
There we
at
go.
there.
Yeah, there we
It
go.
comes full circle.
There we go. And what I mean by that is like y'all know when Kevin Durant came in, he was given the ball specifically to score. You know what I'm saying? And I think with that role, with Steph Curry being Steph Curry, he's gonna need that, especially with Klay being out, he's gonna need somebody else who can score. And I think Kelly Oubre will be given that chance amongst any other players on the Warriors. So watch out for that. He was balling for the Suns, might I add. So that's all I'm gonna say. Dark horse.
I give you that, but that KD comparison is a
Okay,
stretch.
I mean y'all know how I feel about KD. So I mean, but the way it was, y'all gotta see.
I'm just a Warriors fan.
So too, I love trade of Kelly Oubre after the Klay Thompson injury. I like Kelly Oubre. He averaged like 17, 18 points a game for the Suns. The KD comment is what got us.
Okay.
I agree that he's gonna help the Warriors. That was a great trade to respond after the injury to Klay. But my winner for all season is Lakers. I have two. It's the two teams that was in the NBA Finals. The Lakers and the Miami. You saw the moves with Dennis Schroeder, Marcus Gasol, Montrezl Harrell, taking him from the Clippers for a reduced price. Like, that's what you do. Like, I'm all about championships. They made the move to get them back to the championship, and the clear front runner to get there. And the Miami Heat, although I'm going to keep mentioning Myers Leonard at the request of Sheedy. We don't like that.
Running back. Yeah, I said y'all was running it.
But extended Bam, extended Bam. The signing of Avery Bradley was low key. Very good. Although we lost Jay Crowder. Although we lost Jay Crowder, I think Avery Bradley, that was a very good move. And drafting Precious Achiuwa. That's going to be a high-end jack come out the bench who is going to take Myers Leonard's minutes. So but
y'all gonna put my list on a Leroy Green contract soon.
And shout out to a third team. I just say the Grizzlies. I mean, y'all can listen to us on Starting Five. They didn't make any wrong moves this offseason, but I don't think it concerns the championship, like I said. But outside of that, Grizzlies.
Cool. I'm gonna take mine from a different angle. I'm gonna mention a team that as I look at the teams, like who based upon your offseason, where do I think you'll go better at into the playoffs, right? And so you already mentioned the Suns, which I think is going to be 7th or 8th seed in the West, contingent upon how they play. I think a team that actually is making some good offseason moves, even though I did troll this, so to speak, are the Portland Trailblazers.
Great.
They got Royal Cola up there. Getting Rodney Hood back. If you remember what Rodney Hood did in the playoffs when he was healthy, was huge for them. You got Baby Joker is going to be, full season as well. And you think about the development of their guards in the bubble, man. This team, to me, they're not going to be an AFC next year. I think they'll go up, right, in their seeding and possibly be able to take someone, if not 7 games, to the next round of themselves. So to me, the Trailblazers got the best during the off season, especially in the West. I guess I won't say anything because I don't want to take anyone's pick out of anyone else. But I'll stay with the Trailblazers for my pick.
And they also signed Harry Giles.
Mm-hmm. And they're getting ready to sign Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony.
Hello.
It's Hall of Famer.
I just thought you was about to say somebody else.
They got rid of, and let me also give them the kudos. They got rid of that man that don't know how to score unless it's a dunk, Hassan Whiteside. What in the Blue Blazers are you doing? Why?
They're Blue Blazers.
We'll possibly get to the Sacramento Kings in a minute. So,
all right, guys.
I'm going to come from a direction that you guys may not think that I'm coming from, but the Houston Rockets, in my opinion, have had a pretty good offseason. The last time that I checked, James Harden is still on the team. the last time that I checked, Russell Westbrook is still on the team. And that's not them still being on the team is not the reason why I say they're having a good off season. It's the fact that they did not unload either one of the two just for the hell of it. I think that's why I'm looking at like, okay, to me, that's a pretty good offseason. Just because James Harden wants to go to the Brooklyn Nets doesn't mean you have to necessarily trade him to the Brooklyn Nets. I know we talked about this in GroupMe, but just because he wants to go there doesn't mean he has to like. I don't have to send him there. I can send him in Philly. I can send him wherever the hell I want to because I feel like for James Harden, he top 3, top 5 player in the league. And in my opinion, just give me like Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert and a bunch of draft picks. In my opinion, that's not enough for James Harden. If again, we talked about this in GroupMe. If Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant is not mentioned in the talks, why are we talking? It's that simple for me. So that's the reason I go with the Houston Rockets, just because, like I said, they didn't just offload them just for nothing. So we'll see how the rest of the offseason plays out. But in my opinion, I feel like that's worthy of being talked about. And then we're not going to continuously talk about my Lakers. I mean, we know they had a pretty damn good offseason. Shout out to the Clippers and Montrezl Harrell for that. But those are my teams.
Yeah, Houston signed Boogie too.
And Houston signed Boogie. I'm not sure what they're going to get out of there, but Houston signed Boogie.
And Christian Wood.
Right.
Christian Wood is very underrated.
And Christian Wood.
Christian Wood was nice.
I give you that. I will give you that. I would give the Rockets credit.
Mm-hmm.
Way to hold on to your chips.
And a black coach.
And a black coach.
There you
Hell yeah.
One, the correct answer will be the Lakers. I'm not gonna get into the Lakers.
Yeah.
But
that's why I just went past them.
Y'all are not gonna expect this from me. This other team. I'm gonna say the 76ers. I'm gonna say the 76ers.
They have
because I mean to get Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Danny Green can find his shot on Broad Street. Hopefully, I don't know. And you still get Matisse Thybulle, you still got Ben, you still got Joel Embiid. I would not trade for James Harden with this team right now. I would keep the team as is to see if the shooters around Ben and Joel Embiid can do anything. Because back when Philly had like JJ Redick and other shooters around them, they were actually a pretty decent team. It just ran to freaking Kawhi Leonard in a miracle shot.
Decent shot.
So I'm gonna say Philadelphia. I'm gonna keep it short. Doc Rivers, he's able to inspire teams for at least a couple years, and then about the third or fourth year, it's like, all right, what we doing here? So I'm gonna roll with Philly out east.
Good one.
Got rid
All
of
right. I'll close it out real quick, and I'll actually would stay in the East and go to Philly's Eastern Conference Semis opponent, and basically say the Boston Celtics. As a team that's had a pretty good offseason. They maxed out Jason Tatum, which was letting everyone know that they're bought in on him as their guy. They were able to basically get out of and get rid of the Gordon Hayward contract. We don't know if that's going to be a sign and trade or he's just opting out and is going to sign there. Who knows? So kudos to the Celtics. Looks like they're going to go all in, possibly with Brown and Tatum as their duo.
Did they get a center?
No.
No.
Yeah, they got Steven Adams.
They got Tristan Thompson.
No, that's right. That's right.
They
signed Tristan Thompson.
Great pick.
Rebound.
Big pick up for Boston because they definitely need someone that can take the rim and rebound and bang down low on the inside. So excuse me for forgetting that, but yeah, they also had Tristan Thompson as well. So sticking with the same order, these teams here probably could have used a do-over as what they could have done in the offseason. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us have a long list of teams that could have done better this offseason. So who's having the worst offseason right now?
I would go Savage brought up Steph Curry for a reason, and him leaving the Dallas Mavericks is gonna hurt. But the fact that Dallas literally made no moves at all, I think it's going to hurt them in the long run. So, just holding your cards and putting everything on Luka and a Porzingis who may or may not play half the season, like that's cold. So I'm going to say the Mavericks.
Right. Dallas is still holding out hope for Giannis next year. But to your point, they didn't make any just.
Yeah, they could have signed some 1 years.
They could do something, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see if Josh Richardson do, but yeah, good point. For me, I mean, I guess the team is relevant anyway, but the Charlotte Hornets, I mean, Gordon Hayward, $120 million. I mean, come on now. They did get y'all boy LaMelo Ball. Like, how many guards they got? I mean, it's Charlotte Hornets. They not gonna do nothing. They never did nothing. They still ain't gonna do nothing.
I was excited when they drafted LaMelo, and then once they signed Gordon Hayward, I was like, "Yep, here we go."
Yeah, I would much rather pay Gordon Hayward that money than to pay Nicholas Batum, which is the trade off in this case.
Right.
But yeah,
they trying to find a third team right now for the sign and trade for Gordon Hayward to find a third team that's gonna take Batum's contract. Which, again, I don't see it happening. It's just gonna be Gordon Hayward just gonna sign there for that 120.
And I want so bad to troll our good friend Shard with the Atlanta Hawks, but technically they have a bad offseason, but they ain't have none of the best one either.
Do they make the playoffs this season?
Probably it's 8 seed, 7 seed. Sure. Yeah.
Sure. They'll be between.
They'll make it. They should make it with their team. They got some shooters.
Yeah.
No defense though.
Well, the Hawks. So I want to say this quickly about the Hawks, and I'll get to my team. The Hawks made a great move by getting Bobo from the Kings, because that took away from Giannis, who really wants Bobo in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
So really, they played chess and not checkers, to me. Now, what does that mean? They're going to be in the playoffs? They probably will. But let us stay in the East, and let me tell you a team that is definitely not going into the playoffs with their signings this year. That's the Detroit Pistons. You spent $90 million. Their contract ended up for $90 million. This is just three people. Let me tell you these people: Mason Plumlee, Jahlil Okafor, and Jeremiah Grant.
Jeremy Grant.
I'm sorry. And you still have Blake Griffin. So what in the blue blazes are you doing, Detroit? Because you didn't get any. Who's going to give him the ball? Who? Did you spend anything on your guard play?
Did they draft a guard?
So I'm guessing Killian Hayes.
They got Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
They looking to ship him out to a contender.
Stop it. Stop it. The Pistons got terrible with spending more money this season. Ridiculous. I'm so sorry, man, that you have to cheer for these Pistons. They're sorry, and they need to trade somebody for all that money. That's too much money in the paint. I.e., the Philadelphia 76ers that spent a whole bunch of money the other offseason for Tobias and Al Horford, and now look at them. Al Horford up out of there. It's going to be the same thing for the Pistons, man.
I appreciate you stealing one of my potential losers in the offseason. So I'm just going to go with the obvious, okay? I'm not sure at what point the New York Knicks are going to do something, but I'm at least try. I'm so tired of them tanking every single year. They've had cap space this year. They've had cap space last year. They signed Obi Toppin, which is fine, but then now you went from 8 power forwards to 9. You cleared up cap space to sign absolutely nobody. At least try, bro. Like, at some point, I promise you, I feel like us 6 could run the Knicks, and I promise you, we could be in the playoffs at minimum 2 years. At minimum 2 years. They're not even trying. We all talked about when Russell Westbrook wanted out. We all pretty much said, "Oh, he's going to the Knicks." They're not even calling him. They had multiple. They had multiple first round picks. In the latest draft, didn't move up. Savage and I said that LaMelo Ball should go there. They didn't even try to do nothing. They just add another power forward to the roster. So there you go. The New York Knicks. There you go. If you need an award, New York Knicks, there you go. L of the month already.
You're not a fan of MKG?
No,
they just signed him.
What?
I'm sorry. I signed Machine Gun Kelly.
No, they signed Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
That's the only MGK I know.
I know. About MJG.
Something like that.
Shout out to Orange Man. My team isn't necessarily they didn't have a bad offseason, but I feel like the moves of other teams and then other teams getting healthy is gonna hurt them. It ain't the Clippers, Skyler. It ain't the Clippers. The Clippers, I don't speak on the Clippers until they actually wake up in free agency. But I'm gonna go with the Boston Celtics. And I say that because of one or two things. Not because they're terrible. They're a good team. Let's be clear. It's a good team. Tatum is legit. Brown legit. Like, they're good. But I'm looking at these other teams that are going to be better next year. They're not better than Miami. They're not better than Miami. I saw what I saw in the playoffs. They're not better than Miami. I'm just gonna say that. I feel like even though Milwaukee didn't get a chance to get Bogdanovich, I still feel that they're better than Boston with the moves that they made. Getting Drew Holiday, and I feel like they're probably gonna make another move at some point in the near future, whether it's at the trade deadline or whenever else. They're not better than Brooklyn. Let's be real. They're not gonna be better than Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie. And I feel like Philadelphia is going to be better this year too. So you're looking at Boston to be a lower half of playoff seed against these other teams. And I like Tristan Thompson, but come playoff time, is he going to be playing in the game? When Joel Embiid's flashing threes, when Giannis working that main. So I don't like Boston's. They're going to be okay, but they still, in my opinion, they need a big man that's going to be versatile and reliable come playoff time, because Thompson, this ain't 2016, 17 Cavaliers no more. He's not going to be out on the perimeter defending people. Like, I don't know. And Tatum earned his money, but I just feel like Boston, they're trying to trade Kemba for a reason. They were actually trying to trade Kemba Walker for a reason. And that lets me know that something is not quite right with Boston in terms of like how they want the team to be, compiled. So I think Boston actually takes a significant step back this year from being a top 4 seed in the East.
That's interesting.
Right.
Great answer, John. Great answer.
We have to talk about that later.
Hold on. To humor you guys on Sheedy's pick with the Pistons, because I was able to find out their quote-unquote explanation for all of these moves. Of course, at one point when all the signings happened, there was a potential sign and trade because the deals that Plumlee, Grant, and I believe Jahlil Okafor guy, I can't remember who was the third one. It was all set up for a sign and trade for Blake Griffin to get Blake Griffin to Denver. But that actually fell through. So now apparently Detroit wants to use these guys who have these non-guarantee or 2-year deal type of things left, just so they can try and create cap space so they can use the stretch provision on these folks. And I'm like, Detroit, you guys use the stretch provision once. You just got done paying Josh Smith using the stretch provision. So you're going to use it again, basically?
They just got done paying who?
Y'all still paying all day. Don't be like
That's true, Skyler. That's true, Skyler. Y'all can't say nothing about that one.
Just got done paying Josh Smith.
That boy getting a good stretch over there with y'all.
Yeah.
Who was last seen in the Big Three? Josh Smith?
Yes.
Jesus.
Still get NBA royalty.
But to have my own team, I believe is I wouldn't say they're not having a bad off season. They're having a decent one, I guess, but it just goes to show what I've been saying all along, and that's the Sacramento Kings. So they did well, of course, maxing out De'Aaron Fox. They drafted Tyrese Halliburton from Iowa State, and there's been ramifications. There's been rumors going around that they're planning on possibly playing those two together on the court, which means less minutes for my guy, Buddy Hield, which means hashtag free Buddy Hield. So, and then, of course, what she just mentioned, they signed Hassan Whiteside, which I don't know what they there as well. So, haven't heard anything as far as Marvin Bagley is concerned, because I know they've kind of been trying to shop him out because apparently that hasn't
real quick. The Grizzlies dodged a bullet with Marvin Bagley. We dodged a bullet because everybody and their mama wanted Marvin Bagley in Memphis.
That's true.
Yes. Yes.
A bomb.
And it's funny, they're still getting hounded to this day because they didn't draft Luka. But if I had to pick a team that is, I would say not having a bad one, but they're not having just like a great one, kind of like that middle of the road, it would be the Sacramento Kings.
I'll go pick
and with that, we're shifting it all over from the hardwood to the gridiron.
We need the little, sorry, we need the little music from when they're doing highlights on ESPN.
Yeah.
Okay, fellas, you know what I'm saying? We know we got plenty of COVID cases going on, but there's still football to be had. Shout out to the Dallas Cowboys who looked terrible once again, and shout out to Antonio Gibson.
You talk about caught a case. Oh my God.
But anywho, we are going to start out with our first game of the week in the Pick'em games. We have the Tennessee Titans going down to their divisional foe and the Indianapolis Colts. As you see there, we have a huge fan base in the Nashville area and not enough in the Indianapolis area. So tell me who y'all got winning this game. Sheesh, that's 89.
What's your order?
Oh, sorry. Let's go, Sharky, Took, Trevor, Savage, Shitty, and I'm last as always.
I'm gonna keep it simple. Listen to the Let's Tighten Up podcast. But yeah, I picked us to win. But well, put it this way: this is the game. We gotta win. I mean, pretty much. I think the winning this game wins the division straight up. If we don't win, we probably make the playoffs. But as far as me believing us going to the Super Bowl, that's out. So we got to win. Simple as that. Must win.
I agree. Tighten up.
I'm putting my Tunica Trevor hat on, and I'm actually going to go Titans, and I'm actually going Titans by 3. I think Gostkowski makes a game-winning field goal.
But Trevor, I was about to go to DraftKings right now. If you would pick the Colts, I was about to pick on the win. I ain't go for it.
I just think, I mean, as great as Indianapolis is, look, as y'all know what I say about Phillip Rivers, he's gonna throw the ball, but who's gonna catch it? Who knows? Whether they're wearing a Titans uniform or a Colts uniform. Their defense is stout, but I just think it'll be a back and forth game. I think Tennessee knows how important this game is as far as winning the division and getting a nice spot in the playoffs. It'll be back and forth. Gostkowski wins it with a field goal.
Go Gostkowski.
That was actually my exact prediction of this game was Titans winning on a field goal, no weather in the dome to mess up Gostkowski. But I think this is the start for the Titans to get back on their Super Bowl run, in my opinion. Don't slander me, Sharky.
When you look at the last game by the Colts, what a great come behind win for the Colts against the Packers. I think that really cemented what we discussed the previous week or maybe that week. Like the AFC is really that much better than the NFC, to be honest. And you can really choose a top 5 AFC team. It could be all AFC teams, right, in the top 5. Yeah. And so I think the Colts are really something to I don't know, look out for, especially in the playoffs. But I think the Titans bring it this week. They had a great win as well, but it's Derrick Henry time. And I don't think there's much that the Colts can do to stop Derrick Henry in this. Think about it. I mean, the reason why the Colts really won last week was because Packers did a lot more passing the ball than they did running the ball. They don't have anyone to really close out games like that. Where I think if the Titans get up and get a lead, which I believe is doable, you run the ball. And I got the Titans winning really by 7. To be honest, I might sneak and say 10, but I'm gonna say 7 for sure.
Colts.
I did place money down on the Tennessee Titans, but since all of y'all picked the Tennessee Titans, I'm actually, for the sake of this podcast, am going to pick the Indianapolis Colts. I am one of those people that are kind of on their bandwagon. Their defense has looked really, really good. I think that comeback win versus Green Bay says a lot about that team, says a lot about Frank Reich, who we've talked about several times before. I mean, as much as we kind of talk down on Phillip Rivers has played really well over the past couple of weeks. So you got to give him credit for that. So I'm actually, for the sake of this podcast, picking the Indianapolis Colts just because y'all picked the Tennessee Titans. There you go. Anybody else? Good? Good. Go. Moving on to the next game, game 2 of 3 for the NFL Pick'ems this week. We have we have who was it? Oh, it's the
Bears Packers.
Bears. We have the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers that y'all like so much, apparently according to this poll. So tell me who y'all got one.
Where's the Bears? Give me the Packers. Who's talking? Trubisky? Packers lose this game. They might as well not even make the playoffs, bro.
So I think I was probably a part of that, or was the 17% that voted for the Bears just to troll. But I just want to see a troll happen on Sunday. So give me the Bears. I know it's not going to happen. I just want to have some fun. Because if it does happen, it'll just be fun.
You brought the one vote they voted for and they got the
17%. Yeah, so that's like, I'm probably voting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2. Oh, it's 2 votes?
It's 2. So, okay, I was 1.
This game's a Lambeau, I'm going to assume.
Yep.
So, Mr. Trubisky's their Chicago starter. Give me Green Bay. Green Bay.
It's on me. All right. When I get a notification that Trubisky was playing quarterback for the Chicago Bears, I kind of laugh. I'm not going against AA Run against Mr. Trubisky. If Trubisky wins this game, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Give me Green Bay Packers, man.
Yeah, I don't see this quote unquote MVP, so to speak, Aaron Rodgers losing 2 straight. Especially now he's gonna be back home in Lambeau. And so I think he's disappointed by the loss last week against the Colts. The Bears had a bye week. And then during that bye week they traded their quarterback, which I don't think moves the needle for them at all. And so give me the Packers by 17 in this game.
Now, Foles is hurt, actually.
Yeah, Foles is hurt.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going with Green Bay just for the hell of it. I did say last week that I'm not a big fan of Green Bay Packers because we have consistently seen them get hit in the mouth several times and them not respond. The same thing happened again last week against the Indianapolis Colts. If it wasn't for the fact that the Chicago Bears have not been able to find a quarterback for like 30 years, I would actually pick the Chicago Bears in this game just because I don't trust Green Bay. But Aaron Rodgers won't have 2 completely bad games in a row. Well, last week wasn't too bad, but he'll win this week. But if it wasn't for the fact that Mitchell Trubisky was starting, I would pick the Chicago Bears. And then lastly, in my opinion, the game of the week, we have Patrick Big Money Mahomes going against Tom Brady, apparently the greatest of all time. So as you see here, the Chiefs have won this poll 71% to the Lonely Bucks 29%. So tell me who you got winning.
Give me Patrick Mahomes. Oh boy, like 2 got called. Yeah, give me the Chiefs.
This one was actually really tough for me because like Tom Brady really don't have like really bad, like he had a real terrible game last game. And he really hasn't had like back-to-back struggling games this season. So this was hard for me, but give me Bucks. Give me Tom Brady. Give me Tom Brady. And I think this is the time that because he's been dependent on AB a lot. And the Chiefs defense is getting better, but I think AB will finally get a touchdown or 2 that can help them win the game. But every time I went against Pat Mahomes this season, he always beat me. So
why you doing it?
I don't know, bro. Because like I want a shootout. Like if I get a shootout and Tom Brady still like for fantasy purposes too. If Tom Brady and AB have good games, then you know what I'm saying, and the Chiefs win, I'm happy. I'm happy. But if the Bucks win, then I mean Tom Brady had a good game. Stay woke.
I guess.
Every primetime game that the Buccaneers have had this season, they've pretty much lost. They're pretty much 1-3. And that one win was the blowout against Green Bay at home. And those 2 out of 3 losses were to the Saints and then that terrible loss to the Rams. So I'm not expecting this to be a shootout at all. Give me the Chiefs and give me them by a lot. Give me Chiefs by 20. I'm willing to go that far.
Dang it, Trevor. I may not have to start Tom Brady then. Damn it.
I have the Buccaneers defense in fantasy. I ain't starting them boys in fantasy.
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far. No. I'm definitely not going that far.
I ain't starting them folks in fantasy. So much so, y'all. I'm actually starting the Seattle Seahawks defense in fantasy.
Wow.
Just so y'all.
Who they play this week?
Philly.
It's matchup.
There you go.
Smart man. Based on matchups, you gotta have bad defense. There
you go. There you go.
Be smart.
But yeah.
Stay woke.
I feel like people are not talking a lot about the Kansas City Chiefs defense as much. They are better than what they were last year, and they went to Super Bowl last year. So I'm not saying it's gonna be a blowout, but Pat Mahomes is 18-1 his last 19 games. Until I see somebody beat him, aside from the Raiders, yeah, give me the Chiefs by 17 about right. Yeah.
Y'all being disrespectful to the GOAT.
I'm not.
Well, Patrick Mahomes. We don't want to be disrespectful to Patrick Mahomes. That's what we're saying. And he thank you, Savage, for bringing up 18-1 in his last 19 games. The man is almost undefeated. Until he saw, John Gruden and those Raiders. To me, this game means much more for the Buccaneers than it does the Chiefs. If you look at the Buccaneers' wins this season, they beat the Panthers, right? They beat the Broncos, they beat the Chargers, they beat the Packers, the Raiders, the Giants. Of those teams, maybe one of those teams that goes into the playoffs, right? And so they have the Chiefs now, and after that they have the Vikings, Falcons, Lions, and Falcons again. So this is a statement game for me for the Buccaneers, and I think if they don't win this game, I don't really care if they even make the playoffs because they don't mean anything. So to me, I feel like the Buccaneers need to step it up this game. I got the Buccaneers winning by 3 on this game because if they don't, then they're in serious trouble for the remaining of the season. Even if they win against the Vikings and the Falcons and the Lions, so what? You would beat all these teams that don't have a winning record, and you go into the playoffs with what? And so to me, I think the Buccaneers need to step it up, and then they win by 3 because of that.
Great point, Sheedy. You are both for picking the Buccaneers, which I kind of don't blame you. I think this will actually be a very close game, and I honestly believe it'll be a shootout. To Savage's point, I think Kansas City's defense is much better than they were last year, and I don't think people are talking about that. But the reason I think it'll be a shootout is because Tom Brady is just one of those quarterbacks, in my opinion, that if they have one bad week, they're not following it up with a second consecutive bad week. So I think he'll bounce back. But since week 3 of this season, I told myself I'm not ever again in my life picking against Patrick Mahomes. Against information will change or has changed. So I'm not picking against him this week. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs.
To your point, on the information that has changed is their defense is better than what it was last year.
I'm not picking against Patrick Mahomes anymore.
Except against the Raiders.
The Chiefs will win.
Yeah. And they beat the Raiders like the last time they played. So
crazy. But before we move on to Troll man, we're going to start a new segment called Tunica Trevor. Get some games and some money lines and have Trevor like
like a growing ball.
What's the most money?
Like get that money, put a Miss Cleo hat on.
Yeah, what's the best? Kornheiser, bro, get the little hat on. He be having.
Hey, and just
go to the bear.
What's the best bet for the week as far as money lines concerned or spreads, whatever? Hey,
it's Philly in Seattle. That's y'all right now. The line's 5 right now. 5
for Seattle.
Yeah,
I was watching the Rams and Bucks game last Monday. I was like, okay, cool. Let me see who got the next Monday night game. And I looked, I said, well, damn, I won't be watching the game.
Yeah, I would agree with Savage. If you're a betting man, that's a nice. Seahawks. This is what Seattle by 5.
I'm just straight to the bank.
The line's going up. Actually, it's 5.5.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bet Seattle take points. Take the spread.
All right, Troll or nah? I got one.
Go ahead.
It's about the big. Sorry, Savage. It's about the Big Ten. Ohio State would not make the college football playoff.
Woo!
Pick up my
No, I
reason.
gotta have a high five.
geez,
I was
yes.
Sports Center this morning. It's a certain amount of games you got to play for them to play in the Big Ten championship game. They just got a game canceled today. If they get any of their last 2 games canceled, they will not even be able to play the Big Ten championship game. Therefore, you would not put them in the college football playoff with like a 5-0 record.
We need 6 games, so we can cancel another one.
No, y'all got 4 right now.
Wait.
And this game today got canceled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
So y'all can't have another game canceled.
Ooh.
Y'all only have 2 left.
I don't want that because I'm really gonna be talking loud then.
Okay, so the game today is canceled. They only got 2. Yeah, they only got 2 games left. Unless they like get somebody else to play, but I don't.
I'll answer. I think it's a troll because I think Ohio State will understand the magnitude of missing another game, and I don't care if Jason Fields has COVID. They're going to make sure that they play the rest of their remaining schedule. I think they're perfectly okay with canceling the game against today. Illinois, I think.
Yeah.
Come on, man. They ain't canceling
It's just a
another
fact.
game.
Yeah.
The last 2 games are
Last 2 is Michigan State. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they running them.
They're gonna play that Michigan game. It's not even a question. They'll play the Michigan game.
Will Harbaugh be petty and say, you know what, we're not gonna play?
If you do that, he keeps his job. That's big time petty.
Oh man, y'all funny. So
I don't see a college football playoff without Ohio State.
I agree. It's
Right, I
true.
totally agree too.
Yeah,
This is a troll.
I don't.
it's a troll.
I had to think some.
I actually got one.
That wasn't no trouble.
I actually got one. So we talked about them early in the podcast, and like I kind of had a discussion with my line brothers in a group meet. So trolling all this upcoming seasons, the Suns will be a top 5 team. I did the math, and I think if Chris Paul can get the Thunder to 44 games, which was tied with, let me see, the Rockets, Thunder, and Jazz all were tied. You know what I'm saying? And they were a game. Hey, they were a game, but let's say in front of Dallas last season. So I think that Chris Paul can definitely get them in the top 5 teams. So what I had was the Lakers, the Clippers, Denver, the Suns, and let me see, and Portland. So
I say a troll only because I don't put them ahead of Dallas. And
I do. I think not adding anybody this offseason really is going to hurt Dallas.
I still don't think they put them. Well, I mean, just me.
And Dallas was still 7. So,
but I think Dallas is going forward. Dallas, Portland, and another team I had in my mind. What you said? Oh, Houston didn't trade James Harden, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
So as long as they're there, I think they're regular season players. They're gonna always get wins in the regular season.
Let me see.
I'm actually going off. I'm actually gonna think that they'll be top 5. I honestly think they're gonna be top 5 in the West because I'm thinking now Houston's gonna regress regardless if Harden and Westbrook are there or not. They're definitely gonna regress. They got a first-year head coach.
Yeah.
Whole new system. So
we don't know what that roster gonna look like.
And then we don't know what the roster's gonna look like.
Wait, I'm doing it based on their roster right now. I ain't
right now though. Yeah,
predicting.
Well, yeah, even with that, it's a whole new system that you got to try to implement. That's gonna take them some time. Meanwhile, while everyone else in the West pretty much got better, I expect Portland to be in the top 5 as well. Utah will kind of stay the course; they'll still be in, but I do expect them to stay around that 5-6 range because I know they extended Donovan Mitchell, but I don't think they're really going to take that next step until they get rid of Rudy Gobert. So I'm with you there. I think Phoenix can do it because if Chris Paul can do it in OKC with him and SGA and a couple other role players, who can say he can't do it with Devin Booker and the rest of the there?
I think context is important for this argument. I'm looking at the standings for last year, and I'm just going to guesstimate who's at least top 4. Lakers clearly. I feel like the Nuggets will be at the top again. Golden State Warriors will be there even without Clay. They're going to be there. And Houston, like Sharky said, they're a regular season team. And I feel like even with the new coach, I think they still be a top 4-ish seed. So we said it earlier in the podcast. Yeah, I mean Clippers. We'll see. I'm not really sure.
They'll still be up there. They don't trust in the playoffs.
Oh,
yeah.
Clippers.
I mean, they were number 2 still,
Yeah,
but they did lose Montrezl Harrell too. So
yeah. I'm gonna say it's a troll because I think they'll make it at like a 7 or an 8 seed, but I think they'll be a good 7 or 8 seed. To be clear, they're gonna be still scary because Chris Paul in the playoffs, as long as he's healthy, he's a problem for anybody. So yeah, it's troll, but they'll be a scary bottom half team.
Ooh, that's
Savage literally took, I was about to say, Savage literally took the words right out of my mouth. Top 5, I think that's too high for me. And that's just top 5 for me is just too much for me, just because the division they're in alone is kind of pretty tough. I mean, you got Lakers, you got Clippers. They're there. Golden State won't be as good, but if Steph is healthy, Draymond's healthy. They also drafted James Wiseman too, and then of course, like you said, I mean, they did trade for Kelly Oubre, so that at least makes them competitive. So that division alone is tough. So for me to see them top 5 is too high. But to Savage's point, they're going to be a 7 or 8 seed that you do not want to see in the playoffs.
Like imagine a Lakers and Suns first round series, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, ain't worried about them. Be quiet. Savage. You know
right? So.
Yeah, exactly. Be quiet.
I said, well, it's still be a good series.
They all be a good series. Yeah.
It's gonna be a good series.
Yeah, let's be real.
Yeah, I think a better maybe troll, not even with the Suns being in the playoffs, but that they'll take someone like 7 games, to be honest. Whatever series that they do land. You just said that Kelly Oubre is like Kevin Durant. So I guess your Warriors should be definitely in the top 5, right? Which will move the Suns out of the top 5 contention.
Yeah.
So I would say that they're definitely going to be a team that was going to go 7 games, no matter who they play. I think it'll be like a 6 or 7 in the West, which is fantastic from where they came from. But that Chris Paul effect is huge. Jay Crowder, I think, also with playoff experience and what he can do. I really wish Miami would have re-signed him, but he's huge for you all as well, for the Suns as well. So, in the Devin Booker progression, and I mean, Chris Paul is going to be pick and rolling all through with the Suns, and then having Devin Booker open as well. That's going to be
double team anymore.
Yeah, and you're not going. He can't double team the big. Who's that? Aiden. He's really going to score in the paint. This season. What was he, 7th, I believe, in the paint last season?
He missed 25 games last season.
Most improved.
Yeah, but again, you have Kelly Oubre being Kevin Durant, so I'm going to again go to maybe a 6 or 7.
Both of these top 5 got every.
For me, that's it.
Oh yeah, that's my most improved player. Watch DeAndre Ayton. So, watch out this season. Don't really have a troll now, but just want to take this time to shout out Xavier Tillman. He just signed his deal with the Grizzlies for 4 years, so big ups to him. So there we go.
You hear more Grizzlies talk. Kawhi Knicks starting 5 is seasons. Like, training camp be starting. We just record that one. So
yeah,
it's time.
What a time, man! What a time.
Anything? Anybody got anything else?
Nope. Just hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody stayed safe. Hope everyone ate well. Again, big ups and congratulations to the Savage family for the new one on the way. We are Team Girl on this show. So yeah.
I don't know why your name got eating leftovers. You know you ain't finna get you nothing.
Right. Why you come in and take all of that, buddy?
If referred to Skylar's name, y'all gotta chill.
I did, before we do close out, shout out to Sarah Fuller from Vanderbilt. She'll be the first female in the SEC. So shout out to her. And also, like I gave kudos to Ohio State. I thought we were going to play, but we're not. But we had our first interim coach would have been black. It's the first time we had a black coach. So shout out to Ohio State. I hope Ryan Day doesn't have COVID-19, but if he does, kudos to us for stepping up and having a black man ready to represent Ohio State.
That's something to watch.
What we got? You always say it's Ohio State and everyone else when it comes to Big Ten football. Like, you know that.
Oh yeah. We need to have to start trademarking his stuff too. I'm getting tired of people using it.
Oh yeah, most
definitely. I'm getting tired. I'm getting sick of it.
When did I use weapon you? That was like early summer or even before then. I look on Twitter. These folks done put it on posters.
But they ain't trademarked it yet though.
You could have sued the U of M.
You can still trademark.
I could have sued my employer, y'all, but I ain't gonna do it. It's cool.
Right. Are you gonna sue me? Okay, cool. Here's the
Hey, what they would have did, they would have put you out a little Aldine contract. You can come to work whenever you want to, bro.
I almost threw off the middle finger on the show.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You gotta start thinking about this stuff, bro. You got a family to think about, bro.
All right, y'all. Let's continue this off air. This time.
Real quick. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, rest in peace to this Ravens Steelers game because this is not getting played.
Now, and to that court, it'll be an 8 playoff team, so that hurts y'all.
And you know what? Well, you can get off camera. Sorry, I'm gonna get out of here.
No, I'll just say, rest in peace because it just came out. James Conner has COVID. So
he just got marked out on my fantasy team.
Yeah, so
Chase Claypool's got COVID too, I think.
All right.
Yeah.